Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 28th of January 2024. This day is celebrated Data Privacy Day, known in Europe as the Data Protection Day. It's an international event that occurs every year on 28th of January. The purpose of the day, Data Privacy Day, is to raise awareness and promote privacy and data protection best practices. From the history point of view, K.M. Karippa Jayanti 2024. The birth anniversary of the Field Marshal Kodandra M. Karippa, the first Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army, is celebrated on January 28. Remember the name K.M. Karippa. Starting the newspaper analyst with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Houthi militants attacked Britain oil tanker in Gulf of Aden. Indian Navy contains fire. The tanker had 22 Indians and 1 Bangladeshi among crew members. Smoke billowing from the British oil tanker MV Marlin Lunda. The Indian Navy team is currently monitoring the situation. British oil tanker MV Marlin Lunda was hit by an anti-ship ballistic missile launched by an Iranian-backed Houthi militants in the Gulf of Aden on January 26 night, the United States Central Command (CNTOM) said. The Hindu newspaper also states that 3 Palestinians killed in Gaza airstrike. Israel presses on with war against Hamas. Witness says an Israeli airstrike on a house in the southern Gaza Strip killed 2 women and a man. As Israel pursued its offensive against the Palestinian enclave. Palestinians displaced by the Israeli air and ground offensive on the Gaza Strip gathered water in the makeshift tent camp in Rafah on border with Egypt. 2 women and a man were killed early on January 27 in what witnesses said was an Israeli airstrike on a home in the southernmost part of Gaza. And Israel pursued its military offensive against the Palestinian enclave. The Hindu newspaper also states that Cohen discusses simultaneous polls with the former Chief Justice of India, others. The Committee on One Nation, One Election held its fresh meeting in which the presentation was made based on the research paper Macroeconomic Impact of Harmonizing Electoral Cycles, Evidences from India. Former President and head of the High-Level Committee on One Nation, One Election, Ramnath Kovind, has held consultations with the former Chief Justice of India, UU Lalit, and the Bar Council of India. Former President and head of the High-Level Committee on One Nation, One Election, Ramnath Kovind, has held consultations with the former Chief Justice of India, UU Lalit, and the Bar Council of India on the issue of simultaneous polls. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that government plans accreditation system overhaul for higher education institutes by December. Institutions will be declared either accrediting or unaccrediting without specific scores or grades. To ensure integrity and transparency of handling the data collected from the institutes, the ministry had planned to collect and display data on public platform One Nation, One Data platform. Indian Express also states that Modi-Macron called for humanitarian ceasefire for flow of aid into Gaza. In joint statement, 2 leaders expressed grave concern at the expansion of conflict in the region, including in the Red Sea. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and visiting French President Emmanuel Macron have spoken about a humanitarian ceasefire for aid to flow to the affected population in the Gaza region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shakes hands with the French President Emmanuel Macron at the Jantar Mantar in Jaipur. Indian Express also states that once again, One Nation, One Election, Kovind meets ex-Chief Justice of India, UU Lalit, presentation on economic benefits of simultaneous polls made to committee. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Indian warship responses to Mayday call by missile hit vessel in Gulf of Aden, MV Marlin Lunda. India's guided missile destroyer INS Vishakhapatnam on Saturday responded to a distress call made by a merchant vessel that caught fire after a missile attack by the Iranian-backed Houthis in the Gulf of Aden. with the incident putting the spotlight on the worsening security situation in one of the world's busiest shipping routes Officials aware of the matter said. Hindustan Times also states that Prime Minister Modi hails Nari Shakti at NCC rally, says government removed obstacles for women. Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the NCC rally at Karipa ground in New Delhi. The world is watching how India's women are projecting a Nari Shakti and providing their mettle in every field. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Saturday, a day after women stole the limelight at the 75th Republic Day parade, with ample representation in every element of India's biggest ceremonial event. In the flight past, in the mechanized column, in marching contingents, in bands, and in the cultural show. Hindustan Times also states that Uttarakhand House session from February 5, Uniform Civil Code in focus. The Uttarakhand government has convened a session of the Legislative Assembly from February 5 to discuss the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code UCC in the state. People familiar with the matter said on condition of the anatomy. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami waves to the people during the 75th Republic function at the parade ground in Dehradun on Friday. Hindustan Times also states that choppers to space, India and France seal key deals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the French President Emmanuel Macron at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi on Friday. India and France have agreed to a new roadmap for defense industrial cooperation to identify opportunity for partnership in the sector, including co-designing, co-development and co-production of military hardware. The two countries will jointly produce a multi-mission helicopter in India, and French engine maker Safran is willing to transfer 100% technology to build the fighter jet engines in the country. Top officials said on Friday, a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron held extensive talks to deepen strategic ties. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, foreign investors sell equities worth Rs 24,734 crore in January. The FPI sell-off in the January was also one of the reasons for the fall in benchmark indices, Sensex and Nifty, which had tanked around 2% in the highly volatile month. According to the VK Vijay Kumar, Chief Investment Strategic Geojit Financial Services, FPIs continued to be sellers in the cash market, having sold equity worth Rs 27,664 crore through the January 25. United States blocks fresh proposal to restart dispute settlement mechanism at World Trade Organization. This is the 73rd occasion where the proposal moved by Guatemala, a Central American country, on behalf of 130 members, was not able to launch the selection processes. The United States has blocking the appointment of new judges or to the World Trade Organization's 7-member appellate court side since 2017 on the grounds of the judicial activism at the World Trade Organization and concerns over the United States sovereignty. Toyota fast charges its solid-state battery plans may span 2 BEV ranges. Toyota, the world's largest car maker by vehicles sold, had announced a breakthrough in a solid-state battery material late last year and has said it plans to mass-produce solid-state batteries by 2027 or 2028. With the new solid-state batteries, Toyota expects its electric cars powered by them to have a range of 1,200 kilometers, well over twice that of the current range of the electric vehicles, and a charging time of 10 minutes or less, far lower than the 2-4 hours that it takes to fast charge an EV with the lithium-ion batteries. Went out of the world news, including United States pauses funding to United Nations Agency for Palestinians after claims staffers were involved in Hamas attack. Ukraine says no evidence for Russia's claim that dozens of POWs died in plane crash. British Indian man who threatened to blow up plane acquitted by Spanish court. Yemen Houthi rebels fire a missile at a United States warship, escalating worst Mid-East sea conflict indicates. What happened at United States' first nitrogen gas execution and eyewitness account. Indian origin man jailed in Singapore for molesting domestic worker, injuring man. Going towards science and technology, Indian Space Research Organization gears up for launch of meteorological satellite. Flags it off to Sriharikota spaceport. According to the Indian Space Research Organization, the satellite is designed for enhancing meteorological observations and monitoring of land and ocean surfaces for weather forecasting and disaster warning with a state-of-the-art payloads. ISRO on Saturday said its meteorological satellite INSAT 3DS has been flagged off to the Satish Dhawan Space Center SDSC SHAR at Sriharikota for the launch of onboard GSLV F-14. INSAT 3DS is an exclusive meteorological satellite realized by Indian Space Research Organization with the primary objective to provide continuity of the services to the existing in-orbit INSAT 3D and 3DR satellites and significantly in enhancing the capabilities of INSAT system ISRO. ISRO's space platform POEM-3 achieves all payload objectives set to re-enter Earth. Indian Space Research Organization said POEM-3 flew with the 9 payloads from Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, Physical Research Laboratory, academia, and the space startups. After achieving all objectives, more experiments with the POEM-3 are planned for generating data for future missions. 5 children born deaf can now hear thanks to just one injection. 6 children who were born deaf were given a revolutionary gene therapy treatment in the form of an injection in the ear. Now 5 of them have regained their hearing. After receiving an experimental treatment consisting of an injection into the ear, 6 children who were born deaf can now hear. The snail-shaped cochlea of the inner ear. From technology point of view, our focus is on building tech startups in Tier 2 and 3 cities. Sivaraja Ramananthan, CEO Startup Tamil TN. Sivaraja Ramananthan spoke to IndianExpress.com on the strengths of the Tamil Nadu startup ecosystem, their robust incubator network, their impact philosophy, and the challenges of building a state startup nodal agency from scratch. Sivaraja Ramananthan is the Mission Director and CEO of Tamil Nadu Startup and Innovation Mission Startup Tamil Nadu, a state government nodal agency. Sivaraja has been Mission Director since April 2022 and with an earlier stint at CII Startups Neuros, a southern region. At last, this is a famous quotation said by Rabindranath Tagore. Birth anniversary 7 May 1861 up to 7 August 1941. Was a Bengali polymath who was active as a poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, educationist, and a painter. During the age of Bengal Renaissance, he reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th century. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh, and beautiful poetry of Gitanjali, he became in 1913 the first European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Tagore's poetic songs were viewed as spiritual and mercurial, while his elegant prose and magical poetry were widely popular in the Indian subcontinent. He was a fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, also referred to as the Bard of the Bengal. Tagore was known by the sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswa Kobi. Rabindranath Tagore says a famous quotation. He says that everything comes to us that belongs to us if we have created the capacity to receive it. Once again, he says a very famous quotation, says that it is very simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple. Okay, thank you.